Welcome to our romantic kitchen vibe thing.
Isn't this romantic? Oh, he's about to grab your phone.
Just kind of happened. Oh, wait a minute. J-Bay's about to. Just kind of happened. We didn't even intend for this, but I bought these flowers yesterday kind of as a continuation of Steph's and my anniversary / love. And then I set some candles up. I just made it perfect. So welcome.
Welcome to this nice, relaxing, romantic dinner.
Sometimes things just kind of come together and it's fun. Sometimes you got to plan them, which is cool. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yeah.
Is how to not let other things get in the way of your wants, dreams, and desires.
So important.
This
is everything.
I wish we should show J-Bay sitting in his chair. Oh, he's not. Well, he's totally like Superman.
Go, Jay! Good job!
So, we'll let Jonathan introduce himself real quick, too. We got a little move.
And we want to welcome you to our kitchen. We talked about this before, but if you're new to Turn It Up with the Tarnofskys, we feel like the kitchen is the most homey, loving place. It's where all the good conversations go down. So, welcome to the kitchen. All the good combos are going down here.
Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. And Jonathan might go back to crawling on the floor for a little bit. He seems pretty entertained.
We go back to wild man status.
Yeah, now we're on the float. But before we get started, we always like to set a little bit of an intention, say a prayer to bless the space and the ceremony. So we're going to do that. Steph's going to be cooking in the background some throughout this process, so it'll be fun. You don't want onion, trust me.
Onion hands.
Might make her.
I'm making a curry from my Body Built by Love course. So it's like a delicious chickpea coconut curry.
Body Built by Love recipes are my jam.
They're my jam.
Lots of other people's jams in the world too. They take the road. Okay, you're going to go down the ground. Okay. I know.
We're going to say a prayer.
Sorry to take J-Bay out of this thing. He'll be dude, you can't eat onion right now.
Dude, we're gonna pray.
Okay, pray.
We're gonna pray. Pray. Good job.
He just sat down and like this. That was amazing. I love you, dude. All right, so God, angels, source energy. We just ask that you come into this space right now. Well, we stand you. All right, we stand you. Yeah. We just ask that you come into this space right now.
I'll hold him.
He wants to jump out. We ask that you come into this space and you inspire each of us to know our gifts, to see our paths more clearly, and really speak to the wants that you have for us and the wants of our hearts that are a win-win for the world and allow us to truly be in optimal health. The ones that allow us to be in optimal health, optimal happiness, optimal love, and full abundance. So again, we just ask you that you really allow us to feel and see and just like taste, touch, smell, hear, all the sensories, taste, touch, smell, hear, to see. All of the wants and desires for our lives that are a win-win for the world and for our family and our friends, that we can truly show up at our highest. Yeah, you go. Okay. And we just ask that you continue to bless us with ultimate guidance in our lives. We just ask that we fully receive any messages that we need to see and feel and receive tonight so we can best show up in the world as our highest self. Amen.
Amen.
Cool.
Okay, amen.
So while you're at home, you jump on here on the replay. Go ahead and set an intention. Go ahead and set an intention for the day. J-Bay. Do the J-Bay way. Set an intention for what you want this call to be about, what you want to receive from this call and this experience, and also what you want to experience this week going forward. Take about 10 seconds right now to do that. All right. So after setting that, we'll jump right into the call. This amazing class is going to change your life and the way you see the world. Today we're talking about how to really focus on your wants, needs, and desires without other things getting in the way. I know this is 2019, so that's not always the easiest thing to do.
Can we just see that the ultimate example of how to not let other things get in the way of who wants to use the desires is being demonstrated right here?
Yeah, by both sides.
Best way.
Yeah. Like really go for it. You're saying like the way J-Bay's coming in hot.
Yeah, he's like, nothing's gonna get in the way of my desires.
He's like, I will prevail. I will come through. And you know, the truth is like when we act childlike and we really tap into what we want, when you take that approach, you're right. We can achieve anything, get anything. It might not look so aggressive on the external as we become more adult-like, but it might still have that same energy of like the same way a kid wants to eat food is going to get food and get nourished, right? They're not afraid to ask for it. They're not afraid to demand it. But they are in a space where they have to trust and rely on other people to do that for at least a couple of years. So that's a really beautiful point. Also, what I want to point out is that like we're not letting ourselves, Jonathan, get in the way of our desires right now to make this class. Even though it's not perfect, we're not set up the way we want. We don't have all these perfect angles of the camera, and you know, not worrying about Jonathan getting in the way. It's like we just did this. We're here. So it's like that's kind of like a good double-sided experience to show everybody like how as a parent you can show up also as a human and as a baby, and you can just weave all that together and show up big.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're going to be covering 3 areas of this. So I know like in 2019 it can be really challenging to be focused on what you want and not let things get in the way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy stuff
so many different things.
Between like social media,
so many elements.
Media itself, just the fact that most people work 40, 50 hours a week, all kinds of stuff, right? But you got babies crying in the background. But the thing is, like, there's 3 areas. There's people getting clear first and foremost on what they want. We're gonna go over that in a second. Secondly, people getting really, really, really aware of what is standing in their way. What is those walls, or what are those like hurdles they need to overcome? And then 3, you know, what you can really take action on and do about it. So starting with the first one, I think we're about to dive right into like getting clear on what it is you want in your life. What are your wants, needs, and desires? I know for me, I spent 28 years of my life not really fully knowing it was okay to have wants, like big wants. I spent 28 years of my life not knowing it was okay to like really, like I always dreamed, but like to really just embrace my dreams and know it's okay to want those and desire those and even have day-to-day desires and even have bigger desires beyond that of like long-term desires. So we call these visions, right? We call them goals. We call them just images of like what you want your life to look like. And that can be on a daily basis, an hourly basis, all the way to a 10, 20, 30 year, you know, decades basis, right? And so we find the biggest thing, the number one thing when we start any of our coaching programs is that people don't really know either what they want, but that's okay to want what they want.
It's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people you work with that just come into like Body Built by Love, which is all about weight loss and learning to really reform your mindset around your body image? And you know, how many people come in and say, well, I never really thought about my body being like a vehicle for my purpose and knowing how I want to use it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are usually the ones that are the most lost, but they don't have a direction, right, for their bodies and for their purpose.
Or a relationship with their body.
Or yeah, a good relationship with their body. To know what they want to do with it, like go hike mountains, go swim in the ocean, like go bicycle around the world, go, you know, play with their kids, whatever it might be, run and jump and hike, and you know, all these things, right? So that's one example. Another example is when we get into business coaching, a lot of times people don't know what they want in their business, right? They don't know what they want to actually do with their business, but they know like maybe on a immediate level that they want to sell t-shirts, let's say. I want to get into like vintage t-shirts. So they don't see a bigger vision for it. So they don't really know how big they want their store to be. They don't know how they want to sell it, where their store would be. You know, they want to have employees. They don't know all these things. So they don't have like a target to aim for, right? So then they don't even know what they should be doing in their day. They just have this feeling I should sell t-shirts. So there's a separation there of getting some clarity on where you want to go. Does this make sense? It's kind of like if you're going to go on a trip, you want to go on a road trip, and say you want to drive 5 hours, but you don't really have a specific place you want to drive. You could drive 5 hours north, south, east, or west, right? I think that worked right. But it's like, depending on where you go, you can live all different places. But if you know, like, hey, I want to go 5 hours down south, which for us would be a cool part of Mexico. Yeah. And we look it up, we put the GPS in, the coordinates, we make some plans, we book some hotels, get some cool stuff set up, and we still leave some room for magic and not plan everything. We're going to get to Mexico in this like magical place we've never been and meet a new culture, new people. We're going to have all kinds of fun, unique experiences, right? We're going to hike, swim, jump, play in this magical land. We get to explore, right? So that's kind of the analogy for life. Wherever you are right now, whether we're talking about being a stay-at-home parent, whether we're talking about starting a massive company, whether we're talking about getting in a relationship, whether we're talking about a health journey, you need to know what you want. That's the number one rule. So take time tonight and clear on what you want.
Very clear, like crystal clear. We talk about this in every course we do. The clearer, the better, because the universe and God, they are amazing at delivering to you exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, but it can be a bad thing if you're not specific. So there have been so many times in our lives we've asked for something and then we got it, but we weren't specific enough, so we got it in a way that we didn't want it. So.
Or we got it in a way that didn't get as maybe the magnitude we would have expected.
Right.
You know, it's like we got it, but could have been even better if they were really clear on what we wanted and talking to God and saying, hey, this is how we want to show up and this is how we want to create it. And I think just to address that nuance, what we're talking about, a lot of people don't know it's okay to co-create with the energy that God is, flowing in this earth. If people say universe or source energy, but I've always said, God, it feels good to me. There's no pressure on you either way. But it's like there's this energy that co-creates. Sometimes we are meant to listen and be kind of still and just trust, right? Have that faith. But sometimes it's important to put out from this God force energy, this source energy, this creation energy into the world what we want so that, God knows what to deliver. The universe knows what resources to bring us. And that's where like the patience of that stuff coming to us can be. But if you don't know what you want, sometimes it's hard to know what we really need to put out to ask for.
Yeah.
To be praying for, to be meditating on, to whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. And so what Steph is bringing up is a good point. A lot of people don't know that that's part of the game. To ask for what you want and put out what you want, just to get the foundation set of where your GPS needs to be taking you and where God can provide along the way, or source can provide along the way.
Yeah, and if you want a guided path on like how to easily do this, that's where you should reach out to us about our different courses. If you want a guided way to do this on your body, reach out about Body Built by Love. If you want a guided way to do this on your love life, reach out to us about Love Evolved. Like, this is what we do in the courses. We go in depth with this stuff. So we're going to give you enough to take action on today and get started and get moving and see changes and transformation. But if you really want to see this on a deeper level, message us about taking a course with us. It is powerful. We actually just had somebody, one of our clients from Love Evolved, reach out to us. I'm just so excited. And she was celebrating how she found love. Oh my God, you haven't read it?
No,
oh my God, it is so good. It's so good. She found love. It's this person that came to her and she like held strong to what she wanted and needed and desired. So she got what she wanted. She's in this picture. They're so happy together. They're so cute. It's amazing.
Well, and what's funny, so just to give you like a backstory, before that, she hadn't found love. She had been in a relationship like almost a decade, right?
No, yeah.
And she had been struggling. We have been talking to her for almost 3 years now about taking some of our courses. And she was like so resistant. She just didn't believe it would work for her. Mm-hmm. And I even was kind of starting to doubt myself because she got into a course maybe 2 years ago. And it was kind of like giving her some traction, but then she didn't really follow through. And I felt like I kind of failed, and she, I think, felt like we failed her. And just being like vulnerable about this.
I don't think she felt like that. I didn't get that.
Well, here's my point. This is a point I make to all y'all. Sorry to talk business, but anytime there's somebody in our coaching program that's not hungry for another program right after that, I feel it's because subconsciously they think that we kind of failed them. That's just what I believe. Like otherwise they'd be like, yeah, I want to do another.
I mean, there's a million reasons.
And I also think that she thinks she failed herself in that experience.
I think that's more
so
likely.
I'm just saying, like, I look at it from both sides. I don't try to just point fingers like, oh, this. But my point is, neither of us failed each other. Neither of us failed in that experience. It wasn't the right time for her in her like readiness. Like she hadn't really been clear enough with herself what she wanted to do. So she hit a couple cycles, kept spinning around. And I think the reason I'm telling you that is because now we're a few years later, she finally decided to really go all in with us. Like she really was like, guys, I'm ready. I surrender. Let's go. And there was no more resistance. She told us like the deepest, darkest, most vulnerable stuff. And this is why I think like it didn't work the first time, but she wasn't really honest with us fully.
True.
So again, if somebody's not honest with me, that's because I haven't done the true space holding that I think I'm supposed to do as a coach. That's my point of why I kind of felt like I kind of failed her, even though I was just meeting her where she was at the time. It's not like a bad thing on me. I just always like to be honest, you know? So I could tell that like she wasn't fully honest. This time she was. She went all in, and she literally told us some of the deepest, darkest things she hadn't told anybody else in her life.
And it took bravery. Like there are a lot of things that most people would be really scared to say. So
yeah.
I'm so proud of her for being brave.
And I wish I had a diagram, but it's like she was standing here about 2 months ago, and a month after we finished, this is her over here, all the stuff that she told us about in here, it's like she moved it out of the way by expressing it and doing the inner work of what she needed to do and getting clear on what she wanted. She moved all the blocks out of the way and literally ended up over here with the love of her life. And we've had this happen to numerous clients, numerous courses. It always works, but you know, it's like the person has to be all in, has to be really willing to get clear on what they want and be clear on letting go of the things that are standing in the way. I think that's just so powerful of a test, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah.
I love when people send us testimonials like that.
It was amazing.
So fun.
And I think the thing that's so powerful about it too is like, you know, she was somebody that had so many things in the way of her finding love because she had so many stories and limiting beliefs about it, that it could even happen to her, or that she deserved it.
Yeah.
And so to transition, the segue from step number one, which is get really clear on what you want. When this lady finally decided to get really, really clear on the fact that she wanted love and she wasn't going to let anything stand in her way, then she went to step number two with us, which was getting really clear and aware of what was standing in her way. And it was things that she didn't even know were in her way. It was these secrets she'd been keeping about her life in the past. It was the way that she was viewing her worthiness to even be in love. And it was a whole host of other things, like a laundry list. And we just ninja through that stuff.
We
right?
ninja'd it, yeah.
And like we see this all the time, like Steph talking about whether it's a weight loss, the way people feel about their bodies, or like think about how they're supposed to be healthy. There's so many misperceptions about it that cause them to like not feel good about the whole process, which is total BS. Or people with their kids, like parents that are struggling to keep all the balance because they're just not able to fully understand the balance of their families. And it's not because they're not doing things right, it's because of the perception they have, or maybe like not knowing how to ask for help in the proper way.
We're not feeling deserving of help.
Yeah, not feeling worthy of help. So it's getting really clear on what's in the way, what's stopping you, right? And so when you have this trajectory of what I want to do, and what you're going to do in your life and what you want in your life, and then you see like what's getting in the way, like if I want to go start a t-shirt shop and I want to sell t-shirts and I want to have a store over here a year from now, and it's going to cost me $5,000 a month to operate that store, and I only have $20,000, then I know that right now I only have 4 months worth of operating capital. I need to figure out how to get at least to $100,000 so I have operating capital and some in the bank for about a year. Does that analogy make sense? So that's another thing. There's limiting beliefs in there. There's all kinds of ways. How do we raise the capital? So it's important to come up with a plan to get to that $100,000. You know, whether it's you're borrowing it, whether you're creating a business plan, and coming up with things that are stopping you. If you want to have a better relationship with your partner, it's coming up with all the bullshit things that are standing in the way that make you hate each other. Make you have each other's throat, and how to break through that. We're getting the mood set here.
I know, we really are. And what I will say about that too, about like doing that, like we talked about before, it's about like the specifics, the clarity. But a lot of times people don't know what their blocks are. And I can totally be a testimonial for that too. It's like so many times in my evolutionary journey, I have been completely unaware of something that was blocking me, stopping me, or standing in the way, which is why coaches have been so powerful in my life. I've been so grateful for that. But if something is blocking you, be open to the fact that there might be something you don't even see.
Yep. Maybe it's like right in front of your face, but you're not looking at it. You're like looking over here, and it's over here.
Exactly. So it's so essential to have a support team around you that can see the things you're not seeing.
Beautiful. I love that.
It's massive. So know that too is like, okay, maybe you see some blocks and you're like, oh, that's standing in the way. I got to move that out. But if it doesn't like have that full feeling of transformation or change, there might be something else. So this is my baton I'm holding against.
Yeah, you're right though. That's the thing about good support.
My baton. Okay.
Get the baton. Good job. High fives. That's the thing about good support. It's important to have good support always, because you can't always see what's on your back, right? Unless you got a big ass mirror that you're looking all the time.
That's what having a coach is. A coach is like having a big ass mirror.
It is. It really is. And
did you open this?
Nope. Maybe he's not having to be in his crib right now.
I'm not doing the sleeping.
He wants to play with the onions. He wants to cook. So I'm gonna dive into this last area. So the third spot again is like what to do about this, and it really is taking time for you to get serious and clear about what you want. So write that down tonight. Also, whatever you want, wherever you want to go in that GPS coordinate, think about all the things that are standing in your way, right? And how to do that, and how to like break through those. So get clear on what they are. And then the third thing is really understand. Okay. The third thing about that is really understand that by doing the inner work, whether it's journaling and journaling what's blocking you and why it might be coming up, whether it's actually having those tough conversations with the people that are creating those frustrations, whether it's actually taking time to organize strategies, whether it's actually being bold. Sometimes it just takes being bold and saying, I want to create a t-shirt shop in 1 year. I need $100,000. Who's going to help me? You know, sometimes it takes setting aside time to do this plan that you need to create this shop. And I think we haven't really dove into the deepest parts of these topics, which is your wants, needs, and desires. Because we're not just talking about big dreams down the road. We're also talking about day-to-day dreams, day-to-day needs, like moms. I know a lot of moms out there, they want to go to the gym, but they feel like they don't have time between making all this food, taking care of their kids, and some of them have jobs. Even the stay-at-home moms that don't, it's still a lot to take care of kids and, you know, make food and like do all this stuff and then get to the gym for yourself, right? So how do you start to prioritize yourself is what this comes down to. How do you quit from letting things get in your way? Whether we're talking about taking time to go to the gym, whether it's like taking time for yourself just to like go like to a spa, then whether it's like taking time to go get a haircut and, you know, maybe get a massage, maybe it's what's some other like things that people don't really know they can do that might be a want or need or desire.
I definitely feel like all like the self-care things like you mentioned, massage, maybe did you say get your hair done?
Yeah, get your hair. Well, girls get their hair done. Like, and even just when it comes down to like eating healthy food, you know, like making those healthy choices, not sacrificing that. Maybe it's like taking a trip with the girls or the guys, taking a trip to like somewhere fun other than like, you know, the McDonald's playground. Maybe it's like somewhere like for us, we live in California. A big thing a lot of people do is take a weekend away with the girls or the guys to like Palm Springs, the desert, you know, or Joshua Tree. And like so many people feel guilty about that because they just don't want to leave their family or there's so many commitments, right? So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that on a daily basis? And I think, you know, taking all those things into consideration, the 3 steps we did, it all comes down to you prioritizing yourself first. You know, you've got to prioritize yourself and not sacrifice yourself. So when you're setting these goals out, whether it's a daily goal just to work out, or whether it's a weekly goal, or a monthly goal, or a yearly goal, do not sacrifice yourself. Always make sure that you are prioritizing. Like, if you want to go to the gym, set your time, don't change it. And if you know you're going to have 10 commitments that could pop up during that time, then think 10 spaces deeper about how I can make sure that I have all those fires put out ahead of time, right? Or if they do pop up and say it's like a kid calls and they're like, hey, I don't feel good, I'm at school, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're not like really sick. They just maybe kind of like pushing it off. They don't want to be at school right now. And you know that. A lot of parents would rush to their school immediately, right? Instead, just be like, you know what? I'm not gonna feel guilty. I know you're not feeling great. I'll be there in an hour. Let me go knock out my workout. I'll be there.
It's coaching.
Yeah. It's like, don't give up on yourself because maybe your kids need you in that moment. If they're not, I mean, if they have like a fever, that's different. But you know what I'm saying?
But this is a big thing for moms, especially. Probably dads too, but like I hear this from moms all the time, is this concept that you have to sacrifice for your children and sacrifice for your spouse. That's how we've been taught. But here's the problem. If you are sacrificing for them, you are never taking care of your own needs, and then you have an empty cup. And when you have an empty cup, then who's going to take care of everybody? You're not going to be your best. So it's so important to prioritize yourself first. I know it seems backwards. I know it seems like the wrong thing to do. If you start changing that, it's going to make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, and I think what we're really diving into right now is more of like the micro, the day-to-day ideas. So whenever we talk about life visions and goals, like what do you want? There's always the macro, which is the big, long visions, the big overarching 10, 20, 30-year goal. And there's the micro, which is day-to-day. When we start to look at macro and micro, there's very different ways to approach those, but they still have the same idea. Steph is saying, drop the idea that you need to sacrifice yourself for your husband, your wife, your kids, anybody. You don't sacrifice yourself, you prioritize yourself, and then you let everything else fall in around it. And if you start taking time to prioritize what you want on a daily basis, every day you want to work out, every day you want to eat certain foods, every day you'll start to know what you need to do to make that happen. You know, if you say healthy eating is too expensive for me, then you need to figure out how to get a better job to like afford that food, you know, or figure out how to cook in a more inexpensive way, like buy one of our meal plans, learn how to cook really healthy for inexpensive ways. So like there's ways to do stuff that don't involve you saying, well, it's too expensive, so I'm not going to do it, you know, or I need to feed my kids this food, I can't afford that. And I know these are like very sharp solutions. Maybe we're talking like, don't sacrifice yourself for your husband or wife. But what we're saying is like, sometimes it takes a little time to turn that ship around. Sometimes you got a big barge that's been going this way for a long time. You've been sacrificing yourself for maybe days, months, years, who knows? And when you start to turn it around by watching this video, it might take it a little time. Maybe take it a couple months even to turn. But eventually it's going to turn back around and get a steamline back the other way. It's practice. It's a daily practice, which is why having coaches is so, having high-level support, good coaches is so amazing because it takes practicing, just like going to the gym.
And that's why in yoga they call it a practice, because they're not like, oh, I yogaed once and I'm yoga now. It's like a yoga practice. You do it every day for yourself. You should have a self-love practice every day. This is the reason why we created the Wake Up Happy course, because every day for 30 days you get a short video that tells you about some way that you can evolve, grow, and improve your life and bring more happiness and health into it. So it's that daily consistency that we seem to forget about. I talked about this recently, that we tend to live in a society where it's just like, we think if we've failed once, we're done, and that's it, and it's over with. The reality is we're humans and we're flawed, so it's gonna take practice like we do with a child. When a child is learning to walk, they don't fall down once and you go, oh, you know what, you're just never gonna get it. It's not for you. It works for other people, but not for you. You say, keep going, keep practicing until you walk. Yep. You gotta do the same thing with yourself. You gotta keep practicing every single day until you get it. It's not a matter of if it's for you or not for you. It's always for you. It's always available to you. You can always have the thing you want, but how willing are you to stick to it? That's the question.
Yeah, and I think
how willing are you to practice?
Yes. And taking time, whether you're talking about the macro vision or the micro vision, it's really important to always take the time to look at what is standing in the way of you doing those things. And just taking time to then reorganize and replan. I'm burning some Palo Santo, cleansing the space. It always takes time to like really plan, whether it's like, how do I get to the gym every day? How can I do this effectively? You know, whether it's create a home gym, get home workouts, whether it's actually go to the gym and your lunch break, whatever it might be. It's like there are ways to create win-wins for everybody in everything you do. And so take time to look at those things, write them down. What do you want to do on a daily basis? How do you want your life to look like? You know, don't just settle for whatever you feel like you have to do. Settle for what you want to do, truly want to do in your life. And I think what Steph is really tapping into here, the most important thing about this is how you feel about in your emotional state. It's Palo Santo. It cleanses. It's God's way of cleansing.
You like so it's like filling up.
It's important to, hey, like that? It's important to know that your happiness and your state of emotion is what really allows you to keep wanting to focus on this. Because think about when your priorities don't get met, then you feel like crap, right? Or you feel like stressed, you feel behind. That's when you stop trying, stop caring, and eventually you get kind of numb to that. So what Steph had mentioned is this Wake Up Happy course we have, which we're actually decided to relaunch because so many people in this experience have said, I'm not happy in my day-to-day life. I don't know how to be happy every day. Every time we hold these classes, people are telling us that. We're seeing that common theme. So we just knew we needed to run Wake Up Happy again. We usually run it once a year. We're running it now, right now. We actually have our early bird special running tonight until 11 p.m. So it's really important if you want to do this and jump in now, because early bird specials have a heck of a good price. But this is something where we not only help you dive a little deeper into things that you want in your life and how to handle some of this stuff, but it's also a way to teach you how to be happy every single day, even when things feel heavy. Thank you. Even when things feel heavy, because if they do feel heavy and you're not able to really break through that, then what are you going to do? You're just going to keep giving up? You're just going to keep feeling like depressed some of the time and then happy the others?
Just feeling like giving up over here.
It's like you've got to keep going. You've got to find that way to cultivate the happiness. And that takes practice itself. So, part of it is knowing where to go and knowing what you want. The other part of it is getting clear on what's in the way. And the last thing is how to take action in a really fun, positive way. And so that's where we're offering to you in the Wake Up Happy experience. We actually cover getting clear on what you want in life, how you want your life to look, how you want your life to feel, and then also helping you feel that way consistently all the time with happiness, prioritizing yourself. A lot of that happiness comes with prioritizing yourself. The more you do that, the more happy you are. Right, Jonathan? I mean, I was really... He's getting so good at just like communicating. He's mad. So we just, Steph and I use the same practice for our own life. We've used this for years now. And
this shit works.
It does. It really does.
Son.
You all watch this grow. You watch this evolve. You've seen us go from living in cars to creating a lifestyle like we're living now.
Yeah.
In beautiful, abundant places around the country and soon to be the world. We're going to be doing some world traveling soon. God's been putting that in our vision. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, game on. So we want you to be part of this team, this community. We want you to be happy every day. We want you to know what you want to create in your life. We want you to stop settling and start commanding what you want in your life so that it can be met.
Yeah, and not just like happy, like, yeah, I feel pretty good, like, or putting on a smile to seem happy, like really, truly, honestly happy. The kind of happy that's like freedom without food or alcohol or anything. And we love food. Alcohol is fun to drink, but if it's your source of happiness, the true marker to me of happiness is, can you feel so free and so amazing, just naturally yourself. And that's our goal always with our clients.
Yeah, how can you be free without needing anything outside of yourself, so that everything outside of you is a bonus, right? Everything outside of you, your God-given body and life and energy, just an amazing bonus. You have everything you need here inside of you, with you, and who you are. And sometimes it's changing that perception to really see it. We talk to ourselves in the same way.
We do. Bye-bye.
So hopefully this really resonated with you tonight. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense. Can't wait to see you all in the replays. Can't wait to hear from you. Jump into the Wake Up Happy experience. It's so freaking dope.
Yeah, and definitely make sure you reach out to us and let us know like what were your biggest aha moments or takeaways from tonight's coaching class. We love hearing from you.
I think coconut cream with my berry.
That's a good idea.
All right. Well, I'm gonna record now.
What's that?
All right.
Love you guys.
You'll have an amazing night.
Curry's almost ready.
We'll tell you how it tastes. We'll put a picture of it online. Tell you how it tastes. How do you turn this off?
So go down there, hit stop, and then you hit